Hey. Welcome to ABoutWellbeing Podcast, episode 46, everybody. To sup or not to sup? That is the question. So I'm going to kickstart you guys with a quote real quickly. Friedrich Nietzsche quote, obviously. He who never lived at the right time could hardly die at the right time. The difficult art of going at the right time. So there's some old school philosophy in here. There's a bit of samurai philosophy. A lot of samurais talk about, wanting to have the best death as possible. And that's the main reason for living, to lead up to all the events and do all the right things so you have the best death as possible. But I think what this quote mainly means is just talking about timing. Living properly and at the right timings, could hardly die at the right time. Our goal being here in life is definitely to, when we say sayonara to the world, is to be happy and fulfilled with the life that we've lived. So if we have lived at the right times and, being extremely, I would say, present, doing what we need to do at the right different epochs of our life is just so critically important. So that kind of raises the question, what are you doing and what is happening currently in your life that is the right time for you to do whatever you need to do, and then go out there and do it. So today I'm going to be talking about supplements. I had someone message me and they're like, yo, can you please do a podcast on supplements? And I was like, do I use a lot of supplements? And I was talking to a friend and I was like, because when I think of Supps, I think of a pre-workout supp or a pump supplement or some sort of brain supplement or something like that. And I was like, I don't really use heaps of supplements. Then I started looking through my supplement cupboards and I was like, I got a fucking shitload of supplements. It all just depends on how you clarify them. Yes, right before this podcast, I had a bone broth with a whole bunch of awesome nootropic stack. Keep an eye out, guys. My next podcast, or the podcast after this, I'm doing on my latest article, nootropics, and it's a really in-depth, deep diving, nootropic sort of masterclass. So get keen for that. But for this podcast, yes, talking about Supps, and I've got a few points here that I like to talk about. And firstly, I just want to say, what is your definition of a supplement? Because your definition and my definition of a supplement could be a lot different. And depending on your definition of a supplement, we could have some different opinions on that. Hence why I was saying beforehand, is that a pump supplement? Is it a pre-workout? We're talking about a certain brand of proteins, and all of those different things. So I'm just going to quickly list out the my dot points that I have here, and then we'll talk about them. So the first thing that I like to think about with Supps is essentially everything's a supp. Everything you put in your mouth or take is a supplement. So the best types of supplement is food. So I always like to say food first before anything else. Supps don't make you better. They're supplementary. Hence why they're called Supps. So the only reason you should ever take supplements is if your routine, your health, your sleep, your diet, everything is all sorted out. I'll get into this in a minute. Is all sorted out to the point where you can actually go and get some supplements and, not wasting your money on those. Sometimes, oh man, I didn't even think about cash. I'm putting that as a note here. Because the amount of money that you could spend on a supplement for good food or something else you may need. If you looked at your yearly amount of what you would spend on supplements, on the term of actual supplements as in actual brands and stuff, and then you look at something like the yearly cost of a sauna, you could probably buy yourself a sauna. You know what I mean? You can get a sauna delivered to your house for $2,000, a good infrared one. And if you notice that you've just spent $2,000 on Supps throughout the year, then I would definitely go sauna over supplements. That's the whole point of this podcast, sauna over supplements. The next one is sort of a flow of how I would choose supplements. And I always would go food first, natural, organic ingredients, things that are bioavailable, fat-soluble, herbs, amino acids, and then maybe a supplement. Majority of Supps are just brands and marketing. So true. Do your research. So before you need to do anything, before you decide to get or use any supplements, do your research. Look at other options. For example, as I mentioned, sauna, ice bath, massaging, fasting, getting sleep, getting an Oura ring or something like that, tracking that stuff can be extremely important. Get your bloods tested and your DNA tested so you know exactly what supplements that you need to damn well be taking, because, you know, sometimes taking some supplements can make you feel like shit and you won't even notice. You could be, completely unknown to what and why make you feel like shit. You know, I keep telling this supplement, or this guy told me to get this supplement, it's really good for me. This doctor told me to take this thing, and you keep taking it and you're changing all these other things in your routine. You've been taking it for like a few months, and the next minute you're like, why don't I feel so shit? And then someone's like, dude, just take the supplement out. It's probably not good for you. You take it out and you're like, I swear on my life that was doing me good, and it wasn't the whole bloody time. So extremely important. And then where I like to get my supplements, bulk nutrients. I love bulk nutrients. Making sure I use bone broth is one of my most important ones. Biooptimizers is a good brand. Thorne, iherb for some things, and the naturopath, because they have their own specific herbs and things that you can get from them to use. And then I'll go over at the end of the podcast, so you have to listen. You have to listen, or otherwise you just skip to the end. Forgot you guys skipped to the end. I'll give you like my list of what I like prioritize for supplements in terms of vitamins, minerals, and actual supps to get, which I think are the most elite that I've tried and tested and I use with my clients, which would be extremely important. And if you want to find out more of this stuff, just follow me on Instagram. I have a bone broth discount. If you want to get bone broth, you can go into my website, www.coreyboutwell.com, scroll down the bottom, and you can get that discount, or theherbaldoctors.com, Corey12, the best bone broth you can get. I'm also at the moment doing a call out for people who would like to work with me. If you'd like to jump in on a call and see if I have some sort of group facilitation or some day planning, or you want to jump on from one-on-one coaching, or you want to see or look at some of my programs, reach out, send me an email or a DM, and we might be able to help you out there. So food first at that point. Yes, everything essentially is a supp. If you, I had this is a really gross story, and I wasn't going to share it, I'm going to share it anyway. A couple of weeks ago, I woke up in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. and threw my absolute guts up. I had some food poisoning. And whilst I haven't stopped thinking about this for 2 weeks. Why? Because it hurt down at the very bottom of my stomach, and I felt like these crazy, intense, disgusting pains, and I felt the food all come up through my guts, and then eventually I threw it up. Now, I'm getting into detail here, and this is quite gross, but I threw up, and I didn't have anywhere to throw up, and I had to throw up in the sink, which was gross. And don't worry, I scrubbed the shit out of that sink. But anyway, it come from the depths. So it was kind of like emptying like my guts, like when it was like in its most digested form, up and then out my mouth. And I was looking at it, and I was like, man, like essentially all the food that you chew into your mouth, like obviously it's so obvious, just turns into this gushy type of ball stuff with all these different ingredients, and some things you've chewed enough, some things you haven't, and it all just gets down and sits to your stomach, and then like through your stomach walls absorbs everything into it. Now, I just remember just having this sort of click moment, like that's exactly what our food does, that's exactly what supplements do, that's exactly what vitamins do. And sometimes you get really hard pressed vitamins, I'm like, would that even get absorbed? Like, for me looking at that, I'm like, this is like very interesting. So what's actually going to get absorbed and what's not? When I look at capsules, and I think sometimes they're very thick, I'm like, you know, what can actually be used here? And then sometimes when I'm looking at supplements and different powders and different fat extracts, I'm like, how's what getting absorbed in our guts? Because it doesn't matter what we take. It only matters what actually gets absorbed in our body use. And then at the same time, we've got DNA, we've got certain DNA, we got certain bacteria in our stomach that's actually going to absorb certain different things. So some things that may work for us aren't going to work for others. So that's a real important thing. Now, what the main point I wanted to get at was with food, I like to use this example all the time. If you swallow a raw egg and let it sit in your stomach for a couple of hours and then you regurgitated it back up, you would have a cooked egg. So sometimes when you're thinking of supplements or food, is that no matter what you're taking, essentially supplements are just food already broken down. It's pre-digested food, which is cool if you want a quick hit. Now, for longer, sustainable, more bioavailable stuff, by eating food and allowing your body to go through that digestive process and take the time, isn't going to keep us doing instant gratification and shit and, you know, quick, immediate, oh, I just want to hit of this up, I want to hit of this protein, I want to get this pre-workout, I want to do this. It's like, no, you can take the long way and do everything real properly, and it's going to be a lot healthier for your body in the long run, because we're blessed to have all of this type of food. Now, also in times of energy, so if we're thinking of supplement, there's obviously going to be different categories. Why are we taking a supplement first? Do we want energy? Do we want muscle gain? Do we want brain performance? Do we want to get a pump? All of these different things, and you can essentially get those through food. If you're like eating high quality, sweet potato, you're going to have the good glycogen response getting into your body. You're going to be able to crush, lots of intense lifting, muscle contraction work. Your body's going to have a lot of fuel. Same thing with the fats. If you're taking really good quality fats and you're getting it into your food, and you're just getting a real good balance, right? And you're having enough protein, so you have enough amino so that your body can break down muscle or use it in your brain. There's all different hormones, and your brain uses aminos a lot differently for how you do different things. So always go through food first. If you've got a well-balanced, high nutritious diet that is suited to you, that your body can digest, you are going to have way better results than any supplement is ever going to give you. So I always make sure that is my priority first. And I essentially don't get supplements and don't use them, or I don't even count supplements unless I'm having a good routine with all my food and all of those different things. Because as I said beforehand, supplements are supplementary. And I don't know if a supplement works or works really well for me unless I'm on my bullshit, on my routine, eating consistent, good, healthy food. Because if I'm not eating a healthy food routine and then I have a supplement and it makes me feel a little bit, what I would say, better, it's not making me even better. If that sort of makes sense. I don't know how to explain that. So let me try to say that. So essentially, if I've got a good food routine, I'm at my peak. And then if I have supplements, it makes me I notice the difference. I go, wow, I feel amazing right now. If my food isn't on point, then supplements essentially just a mask. That's what I'm going to say. You do not want supplements or masks, and food will prevent that. Second point, Supps don't make you better. They are Supps. So I've said that a few times. Again, they're supplementary. They should really make out of your routine for eating and everything, and even just energy and focus. They should probably make, 2 to 5% of, where your priorities and focus goes. For sure. Supplements, I would say, are for the elite, is what I'm going to say there. And if you've got a good routine and, you're doing all of the things and you're out there getting a good sleep, you're getting good hydration, you're getting good food, you're moving heaps, then supplements will be extremely beneficial for you. If not, then they're essentially just a mask and you're using them sort of like a drug addict uses drugs, for sure. Especially because you don't need them a lot of the time. Now, where my definition for Supps come in is I like to use all the natural organic food stuff first. I'll always choose natural organic stuff over anything else before I even try a Supp or I try and find it. I spend so much. That's why I really love House of Health Central Market, and I'm not just saying that to plug them or do anything. I don't get any benefits from being there. We just, we have a good relationship with the people who own the place because we have very similar values and virtues when it comes to all of these different things. And I'll just spend so much time looking at all the different ingredients they have in their store, and then I'll research them. Just like, for example, this week I've learned a lot about tiger nut flour, arrowroot powder, and amaranth. And they're just different grains and different starches that are broken down into flour that you can use that is very highly nutritious. You can make it into pancakes. You can put it into smoothie bowls and different things like that. And it's going to have a great high nutritious, high mineral, high electrolyte effect, which is going to really help out your brain and body. So I can't wait to experiment with some recipes for this. That's what I mean by natural organic stuff first. For a good example as well, eating foods like, let's say for a pump, if you have watermelon, grapefruit, beetroot, and you have some really good quality fats like salmon and some berries, and if you just have all of those together and some Celtic salt, you're going to have all of the different minerals that you need ever for a really good pump and for your body to get max and fill out from the Celtic salt, and then all the nutrients in the berries and in the and in the beetroot, watermelon, grapefruit. Now, what the beetroot, watermelon, and grapefruit have is also they're very high in citrulline and citrulline malate, which is a pump product. Is a nitric oxide booster. Nitric oxide booster basically is sort of like, it's called NOS. And, you know, people put NOS in cars. You've played those old, like, Need for Speed Underground and stuff. You get NOS in the car and whoosh, increases all the pressure and the car goes really fast. That's essentially what it does within your blood. Your capillaries in your blood, like, just expand, go nuts, and send you off to the moon. Really increases blood flow. So if you're getting those minerals into your body from the salt and stuff, you're getting the NOS booster and the citrulline malate, which essentially helps with the NOS as well, helps with the sense of pump. And then you have really good protein and fats from salmon, which break down into aminos, which is going to heal and repair your body and also help your brain and give your brain a bit of a kick. With the berries, which have a whole load of antioxidants in them that get into your brain, then essentially, like, why would you need to take a pump product? Or why would you need to take a pre-workout? Or why would you need to do anything else? You know what I mean? Because you're going to have everything there. Especially if you've got a good night's sleep beforehand, you shouldn't need a pre-workout. Like, if you wanted to go max, I honestly think the best thing for, like, a pre-workout, just putting it out there, is just a coffee. Like, a short black. Because caffeine has all the studies for all the good stuff. Caffeine has all the studies for endurance, high performance, and, you know, taking advantage of that with some of the foods that I mentioned beforehand, like having a coffee with, you know, maybe that meal that I mentioned beforehand with the blueberries and minerals, some beetroot and some salmon, going to send you to the moon when you get to the gym. Really handy to know those different things. So I'll always try those first. Look in the store. Now, the second thing is I'll look for bioavailable stuff. So I'll look for, like, extracts. So beetroot extract, watermelon extract, certain different things like that. I'll use bone broths. I'll use matcha powder. I'll use the mushroom extracts like cordyceps reishi, lion's mane, all of those different things. In order to try, I'll use, like, greens powders, I'll use the Celtic salts, all of those things, to try and, those bioavailable good stuff before I have any Supps. And I'll try with any of those and see how they work. And a lot of the time they do, and they work so much better, and you're like, what? This is just insane. Like, for example, at nighttime, I really like to have, like, as a supplement, like a sleep supplement would be cacao or ceremony cacao, or something like that with some honey, with also some manuka honey, and just mixing those two together and making sure that I'm getting them in with some, like, berries, so it has some antioxidants going to help me sleep, or cherries, because cherries have like a high tryptophan content in there, which helps with serotonin, and the serotonin gets converted to melatonin, and then that's going to help you get a good sleep. So if you're having, like, cherries, a little bit of honey, and some cacao, you're getting magnesium, you're getting the little good carbs and all the good stuff from some manuka honey, and then you're having, like, cherries, which is going to help out with the tryptophan. Using those things and different extracts for those can be extremely important. Then I'll try the fat-soluble things. When it comes with different vitamins, if they're fat-soluble, they're going to get absorbed a whole lot better into your body. The second thing is I'll try a whole bunch of herbs first. Next I'll use cayenne pepper. I'll use a whole bunch of different herbs, rosemary herbs, turmeric, ginger, all of those different things in a herb or a herbal extract before using anything else. And then I'll get into the aminos, and I'll go to bulk nutrients and I'll order a shitload of aminos. I don't use BCAAs because our body makes those ourselves. So I don't really see the point in using BCAAs. You just get them from food, and having them immediately get into your bloodstream, I don't think is that beneficial because your body's constantly making them. But EAAs, your body doesn't make essential amino acids. There's a difference between branch chain amino acids and essential amino acids. BCAAs are branch chain, your body makes them. There is some arguments and some studies to say that they can be beneficial, but in all honesty, like, if you're having a good high protein diet, don't need them. Second, with EAAs, is your body doesn't make them themselves. It can only get them from foods and different things. So I don't mind jumping on some EAAs as well as electrolytes. But I think EAAs is extremely handy. Tyrosine is a handy supplement. Glycine is a handy supplement. I'll get to these later, but I'll try the aminos. And then if I find or someone recommends to me a really good brand of a supplement, I'll take that. But when the last time I've had, like, an actual supplement brand that I bought from someone would be years. would honestly be years. I really like the bone broth instead. I use that a lot. Or any of their products. Now for protein, just for example, I don't even use whey or protein concentrate anymore. I use the hydrolyzed collagen protein. So from Bulk Nutrients, HCP, or from the bone broth people, the herbal doctors, Best of the Bone, they make their own collagen protein. I'll use that. Only very occasionally and very rarely, if I'm desperate, I might get like a whey little packet from somewhere, or from House of Health. They got their own scoop and whey. I'll use those if I need something really quickly. But other than that, I'll try to eat as best as possible. I think that is extremely important to know. Now, majority of Supps are just brands and marketing. This is really important to know. Because I remember someone that I know is a teacher, and they said, one of my friends is a bodybuilder, and they said, oh, really? What does he take for supplements? And what does he take for a pre-workout? And she said, nothing. And I don't take anything. I don't think I've never ever needed to, and I don't think you do need to. For me, when I look at different pre-work supplements and protein supplements and pup supplements, they're all just brands of people who have come up with a recipe that they think is really good, and then they've made a brand about it. Or the brand has made something. And it's very rarely do you know of who actually owns it, what's the research that's gone into these things. Are they just doing something that's going to completely send you to the moon? And some people want that. And if you want that, then by all means, go out there and try it. But as far as your health goes and high performance is, what are the adverse effects of this going to have on me? And a lot of the time, all the different Supps that I see with all the colorful brands and things, it's literally just marketing. And the only reason you want them is because their marketing and advertising is so good. You're seeing them on social media, you're seeing influence, you're seeing people that you respect buy and like and do all of the different supplements. And you go, oh, they're trying that, so I must try it too. Boom, you just got marketed to. That is a strategy from the people that are getting the good that are getting their marketing out there so that you buy the supplements. Now, I do think that marketing has its purpose. However, the only reason is a lot of the time with the most successful supplements out there is the only reason that they're more successful isn't because the supplement itself is better. It's because their marketing is better. And they've got more people to relate to get you the product. So in terms of what product should I actually get, makes it really difficult. So what I do, for an example, is I have a certain few people that I follow that I really, really trust. And I know that they are really health and high performance people that I really look up to, that know their stuff, that go out there and do the research before they buy or use anything, which is important to note. I think that's really important to note. Because if you just have a normal influencer out there that's getting paid to do an ad, let's go, oh, here's an ad, there's me using this up, try it out, I think it's killer, it has a good effect on me. It's maybe they haven't done the research. You don't know yet. But for example, one brand of supplements and vitamins, which is really handy, called Bioptimizers, BIOP. So it's just one O for Bioptimizers. They have PhD people working on all their supplements. All of their stuff is from organic, natural grown farms, all of these different things. You just know that supplement's going to be good. Same with Best of the Bone, the bone broth. I've literally talked to the owner of that on the phone. His name's Corey. Shout out to Corey. What's up? He's this guy's in his mid-50s and he's just an absolute wizard. He's a legend and he has all of these these amazing farms in the top of Queensland that produce all of the cow's bones, and then they all get shipped to him. They melt down the bones and the marrow of a 72-hour process, all organic, grass-fed, the best stuff you can get. And so that's how I know that supplement is good. Talk to the guy on the phone, right? Haven't been marketed to. So it's interesting if you get marketed to and you see these certain supplements. It's very handy to do your research first before buying them. Even in a Bulk Nutrients, before I buy the supplement, I have a look at Bulk Nutrients, and it's so handy on their website that they've just got where all the products come from and what they're doing. Now what's happening is with the supplements that you're marketed to or advertised, when you buy a product that has a big mix of different things, is 2 of the ingredients could be really good, but 4 of the other, or 5 or 6 or 20 of the other ingredients could be really shit. You don't know. So what I like to do before I even buy a supplement of someone, which obviously I said I haven't in ages, is I like to look at all the single ingredients. It's a bit over the top, but you're putting stuff into your body, it gets absorbed into your bloodstream, it gets throughout everywhere, so it is handy to have a look at. I'll just buy the single supplements first and see if they work for me. Tyrosine is a great supplement, nootropic dopamine focus booster, I'm way better off having a bone broth and half a scoop of that than a pump product. Because the bone broth, I'm getting all the different collagen, I'm getting all the natural benefits, I'm getting a little bit of tyrosine. So if I have a coffee, a bone broth, and some tyrosine, I've just got a pump, high mineral, high, awesome, amazing focus supplement all in one go, fat soluble with all the other rest of the stuff. And that works for me. So finding out what actual ingredients work for you is really handy instead of going out there and, trying a product. So that's what the main thing I wanted to get across with that is do your research and, try this different single things and ingredients that are really going to work for you. So yes, do your research around that. The next point would be look at other options before even using the supplement. So what's the purpose of you getting a high protein supplement or something like that? Well, a lot of the time it's very hard to digest a lot of protein in the first case. And if you're eating a lot of meat and you have a high protein diet and then you're having protein on top of that, crazy. Yes, you should have a high protein diet, but two, shouldn't have to overkill it because whatever you're overeating, your body's for protein is just going to get rid of. However, it's going to cause a lot of stress and could affect your guts a little bit. And yes, can lead to some adverse effects and maybe ferment and destroy some stuff in your guts, which isn't always the best option for things, but is handy to know. But what you can do instead, for an example, is saunas and cold baths and like ice baths release heat shock proteins. And those literally, it's proteins pumping around your body. Saunas prevent you from getting injury. Saunas prevent you from losing muscle mass, and saunas increase muscle mass because of all the heat shock proteins that go around in your body. So if you kind of need extra protein in your diet and you're like, okay, but my guts are a little bit sore, or I'm not sure what to do here, I don't want to eat more because it's going to, it's a whole bunch of different calories that you're also putting in your body, and the digestion process is huge. So you're just putting tax on your digestive system. It's just jump in a sauna. And that's just one option. There's so many other things out there in terms of just meditating, in terms of getting massages, in terms of doing like a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, or, just going for a swim in the ocean and different things like that, which are going to be, or doing some breath work, can be extremely, even cardio can be extremely beneficial over having a supplement. Trying a different supplement. Really interesting to know. So you could try those before you even jump into supplements. The next one is that I've got here is, all right, where do I get my supplements from? What do I usually choose? So this is really interesting. So where I get my supplements from is I like to, obviously got the bone broth, best of the bone. I really like bioptimizers because I'll give you my supplement list in a minute, but essentially I don't like to take a whole bunch of different vitamins. I like to use like digestive enzymes and minerals and things like that. Bioptimizers are a really good brand. ATP Science are obviously Australian and a very good brand with all the research, and their podcast is awesome as well. I really like Thorne from iHerb. Like Thorne they have a really good brand, and you can have a look. You could spend so long on iHerb. If you go to iherb.com, you can just order all these different supplements, and it's just really handy to have a look at. And then the naturopath. So naturopaths, I would say, are almost the most important, because if you go to a naturopath or a herbalist who understand all of these different things, you essentially go in there, they'll get your bloods tested, they'll sort you out, do a bunch of questionnaires, understand your body better than anyone else. If you want to be a bodybuilder, physique competitor, if you want to be a high performance athlete, if you want brain, if you want focus, if you want all these different things, you can go to a naturopath, and then what they'll do is they'll make the herbs in like a bottle, like a fat-soluble herb, so it's the most easily digestible, the best digestible, it's bioavailable, gets absorbed into your bloodstream, so much better than anything else that you can get, and it's going to have a much better effect for you. So actually going to the naturopath and getting some of their medicinal herbs, extremely important, because you can't buy the herbs like that. It's not like you can go to Chemist Warehouse or go online and be like, can I get some... if there's bioavailable stuff, it'll cost too much. Because if you get like all the liquid extracts and you get them all, let's say from iHerb, you'll spend hundreds of dollars for whatever you need. You go to a naturopath, you buy maybe one bottle, be $30 to $60, whatever it is, and they'll put all the herbs into one. And you just like have one shot of that every single day, depending on what you need. So I always recommend it if you want a good naturopath and you are in Adelaide, the Healing Arts Studio is very handy. I'll put a link to them in the description, the Healing Arts Studio. They have really, really good naturopathy. And for a lot of the stuff that you actually want and need, they're going to have it. So it's a good option. And actually, I've got to go get back. I'm going to go back, get my bloods tested, and get me some more herbs because the herbs are just fantastic. Taste like shit, but you feel great on them. And then the next point I have here is go get your bloods tested or go get your DNA done so you know what you need with everything that you're doing. Like for me, for example, in my DNA is I struggle to detoxify things. So the supps that I use support that. The food that I use supports that. The supplements that I do not buy are directly because of that. And you can see those things, especially when you get your bloods tested as well. So that's some important handy facts for y'all. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know this is my supp list. This is what I'm currently taking. This is what I recommend, and then I'll say what I'm taking. So vitamin D, and here's a little fact for you. If you chew on your vitamin D tablets, they get absorbed into your body a whole lot better than just swallowing them and having the tablets. So with vitamin D, under the tongue, chew on them. Tastes a little bit funky, but whatever. I really like krill oil because it comes with astaxanthin. They're a little bit more expensive, but you need way less because the krill oil's quality is ridiculous. And the reason I take krill oil is because of the omega-3. So if you're not taking krill oil, get a really high quality omega-3 supplement. Great for your brain. Probiotic and prebiotics. So ATP Science do a good brand for this. Bioptimizers do one of the best probiotic. They just got awesome stuff. Best probiotics. And what I like to do as well is mix my probiotics. Like I'll cut the capsules of probiotics, put them in like my Greek yogurt and like probiotic yogurt, mix it around, leave it in there for 1 or 2 days before I start eating it. Because what happens is the probiotics get into the yogurt and then they start breeding with the other probiotics, obviously live cultures, and they make like a super probiotic thing. And then if you eat that once or twice a day, like, hello, you're getting your probiotic needs times a million. How good is that? Digestive enzymes is the next on the list. And I have got at the moment 3 different brands of digestive enzymes. I got Bioptimizers digestive enzymes. They've got a product called HCl, which is like concentrated digestive enzymes, sort of like hydrochloric acid. And then I've got Thorne's Biogest, which has got like ox bile and a few other different digestive enzymes in there as well, which is awesome. I take less digestive enzymes and I just take like, one of each of those, and I have them with the food I'm eating. Magnesium, I like to really recommend a really good quality magnesium supplement because it's very hard for us to get magnesium, but as well, I take ceremonial grade cacao and also I get a really high quality organic cacao powder, which has one of the bioavailable forms of magnesium. And as well as to control insulin spikes, I take Ceylon cinnamon, organic Ceylon cinnamon. Now this is hard. If you want to get that cinnamon, you have to actually go out and research for it because normal cassia cinnamon in decent dosages is not good for you. Period. Like not good. People go, oh, cinnamon's good for you. It's like, not the cinnamon you're getting. You really need the organic Ceylon cinnamon. Normal cinnamon kind of just sucks compared to that stuff. But that stuff is extremely good, that Ceylon cinnamon. It literally controls your insulin and has a whole bunch of other different amazing benefits, which are really good for you. And I like to smash that. Astaxanthin is one of the world's best antioxidants. So I like to take, because of how my DNA works, my antioxidant pathways aren't that good, so I supplement with something else, astaxanthin, and when I'm taking just 1 a day, I feel fantastic. Vitamin C, always try to get a good quality vitamin C supplement, hands down, because it's very hard to get all of the vitamin C from all the foods that we eat, and especially just with cooking things and everything else, it's just difficult. Glycine, I love glycine. It's the body's most abundant protein, or amino. It really helps with sleep, it really helps with skin, collagen formation, which is best. And if you think about it, like it's not like a whey protein or amino. Glycine is directly correlated into, making up your skin cells, making up your muscle cells, making up your fascia cells, all those different things. So I'm like, well, let's go straight to the source and like take some of that. And it tastes really sweet. Glycine is sweet, tastes delicious, so mixing it into stuff is great. HCP, hydrolyzed collagen protein, or collagen protein, I'll use that over any way all day. EAAs, so the essential amino acids, I try to get those. And electrolytes, and I'll mix glycine, EAAs, and electrolytes together with a scoop of Manuka honey, which is obviously antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, but I'll mix those all together. And what happens is the insulin spike that you get from the honey and the carbs essentially drive all of the pre-digested aminos, which is the glycine, the EAAs, and the electrolytes into your muscle cells, especially if you've got a pump or something like that. You can take it before a workout, during a workout, or after a workout. It's going to have benefits no matter which way you go about it. But whenever you have them, essentially what you're doing is all of those proteins are getting into your bloodstream immediately and then straight into your muscle, which is going to heal that up. And also help your brain out, hydrate you, all of those different things. Extremely important. So Manuka honey is one there. Electrolytes. So just go to Bulk Nutrients, grab their plain electrolytes without any carbs. But as a replacement for electrolytes, Celtic salt is an awesome, awesome thing. And sometimes even when I'm dieting and stuff, I'll just put like a teaspoon of Celtic salt in a glass of water, mix that around, a little squeeze of lemon, and just smash that, because I know that all the minerals and electrolytes you're ever going to need are from the Celtic salt. It's just that it tastes so damn salty. The next one is citrulline. I don't mind a little bit of citrulline malate. I'd obviously try to get that from food first, or like a beetroot extract, which is going to increase nitric oxide, blood flow, get into your brain, huge boners, massive and veiny, is really handy. I really like citrulline and I really like beetroot. GABA, I think, is a great supplement, but that's obviously more of a nootropic. You can use that. It's basically a sleep supplement, but your body builds a massive tolerance to it, and you only need it when you only need it. It's more for me. I take GABA more of the time, and if I wake up at 1 a.m. and I can't get back to sleep, is when I'll most likely take GABA. I'll go have a spoon of that, helps me get back to sleep. Oof. And then I use mushrooms. All of the different mushroom powders, lion's mane mushroom, reishi mushroom, ashwagandha. You got to be careful with some of them because some of them have different effects, but I really like lion's mane and I really like reishi, the mushrooms. So I'll use those as well. And that is essentially my whole supp list. What else I've got in the cupboard at the moment that I'm using a liver cortex and an adrenal cortex. So desiccated liver powder, desiccated adrenal powder to heal my adrenals and my liver. Also take milk thistle as well, and there's one other thing I took for the liver but I forgot. Damn. So I'll take all of those things because of my blood tests and because of my DNA, I know, and because of getting a Dutch test, I know that my liver and my adrenals need some support. So I'm taking the supplements to provide that support. So that is my take on supplements. I'll quickly run through again. Essentially, I'll just go over the flow. Firstly is how much cash are you spending on damn supplements? Can you get something else and buy yourself a damn sauna? Because you're way better off grabbing that than supplements. Always go food first, then look for natural organic stuff, then make sure that it's bioavailable, then make sure that it's fat-soluble. Make sure you're going herbs and you get your herbs from your naturopath first, and then you can go and try with some single aminos first, see what works, see what's good for you. You can make the little mixes of the honey and the bone broths, things like that, before getting any supplement. And if you are going to get a supplement, just have a real quick research into who owns the brand, who's working into the brand, and where are their ingredients coming from. For an example, like ATP Science and all these other people was really handy. Now, as I mentioned beforehand, look how much money you're spending on supplements and get something else beforehand. And notice, like especially like food or anything else, you're way better off doing that. Supplements can be just a mask. Notice that supplements out of your energy for whatever routine, like it only contributes 2 to 5%, right? They are supplementary. So you're better off going to a brand like ATP Science or Bioptimizers or something that's a little bit more expensive and paying for their supplements and just paying for 1 or 2 of them and using those really good high quality supplements over anything else, because your supplements should be extremely small. Now, I know for mine, with all of my supplements and all the things that I mentioned beforehand, you go, why, Corey, but you've got all these supplements. It's like, yes, but I do it for like a job. I coach people. I love as well, it's like a passion of mine, is figuring out all these different potions, understanding what all these little supplements and things do to my own body and to my client's body. So we go out there, I'll try all of these different things, see how they work, see what I can put together in the most natural, organic, best, healthiest way possible, and then use that as a supplement instead and be like, okay, is it palatable? So does it taste good? How can we have it? Is it natural? Is it organic? Is it going to serve us? And what purpose do we need it? So I'll mix and go through and do these different things. So it's a little bit different. Now, if you're just a normal person and you've got these big goals, go quality over the other stuff beforehand. But if you're interested in it and you want to try and learn a lot about yourself, maybe do the tests first and then go out and try the single supplements, figure out what's going to work best for you, make your own little mixes and see how you go. Big love, guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this podcast. I hope you got some nuggets. I'm just going to leave you with the Friedrich Nietzsche quote again. He who lived at the right time could hardly die at the right time. So make sure you take your supplements at the right time. All right, guys. Big love. See you in the next one and enjoy.